Welcome to We See Dead People, Unhinged Magi.
Sorry. You look so serious. Staring at the camera. Okay, so you guys, we have a great topic for you today. As you saw in the title, there's people out there that are starting to decide that eBay is not the best platform for selling their Magic cards anymore.
Hence why I use TCG Player. You can click that link below and you can actually buy from there for us if you use those links.
Actually, yeah, that is a great thing, and we'll circle back to that. There's one major platform that I think people are starting to shift to that doesn't really cost them anything to use the platform. And that platform that I see, at least in the circles that I move in, is actually Facebook. And I don't mean the Facebook marketplace. What I mean is people are starting to make a lot of like small private message board rooms. And then the people that they let into those rooms are people that everybody like knows, like firsthand. And so there's a level of like filtering out spammers and stuff that happens. And these groups tend to be sometimes really small to like decent size. The average size that I see for these groups is like, 50 people to like 300 people.
So size doesn't matter.
Well, that's actually nice because the smaller the community is, the more everybody has an opportunity to verify everyone else. Because what happens in these smaller Facebook groups that'll be focused around something specific, like this one group will be like, we like modern specifically, or we like old school Swedish format, people in Germany, something like that. It'll be narrowed down. And since those people know each other, when they start buying and selling and trading cards, what they'll do is they'll put a post on eBay and they'll talk about like what they're selling, and then there'll be a bit of discussion on price, and then there'll be like usually like one thread on there where people will do background checks. And so like if you, Dan, were in that group, somebody would say, well, how do we know this Dan guy is trustworthy? And so Dan would go over to the background check thread and say, I'm Dan, this is blah, blah, blah about me, and I do this, and and I need some references. And then other people in that Facebook group would reply and say, oh, I know Dan, I did 3 transactions with him, and I bought this from Dan, it went well, and I did this. And so people will basically, attest for you. How do you say it? Testify for you. Thank you. They'll testify that Dan is actually a good person. And then the next person you do a deal with, they trust it a bit more. And so money is sent and cards are sent or all that. The reason why this is great is because eBay takes these massive fees now.
12.5%.
Which is a lot, honestly.
It's huge.
And then there's also if you use PayPal for your payment system, there's fees that are extracted inside of that. And there's problems associated. There's theft that happens, like eBay, but just by default. They protect the buyers, not the sellers. The sellers are just kind of get screwed 20 ways to Sunday in eBay now these days. You're much more protected as a buyer. But that makes people not want to sell on eBay, right?
Yeah, but if you... Okay, I can probably join a Facebook group. That would be...
A private Facebook group.
Right. I know.
Yeah.
But I don't really I feel comfortable maybe making 1 or 2 transactions. But what about a person who's like, because I've never bought or sold on Facebook, just to be fair.
Okay.
So let's say you're Joe Blow, you have no actual name, right? Nobody knows who you are. You try to join one of these Facebook groups that only have 50 people, right?
Okay.
How's he going to get in?
Well, what'll happen is like inside of that group, I'll give you a perfect example. So let's talk about something. Let's start from a place of trust, because any kind of discussion, whether you're talking cryptography or friends or banking, anything, it always begins with a place of trust. So let's say I made a Facebook group and I invited you, Rudy, Tavis King, Jeremy Jones, Paul Mueller, like a bunch of people that we know in person, right? That we've spent time hanging out with, right? And so at first it's only like 10 people in that group. And then other people, like as we meet them, are also brought into that group, right? And so that group starts like growing, and it's all people that you know. So when you meet someone else and you know that they're a good quality person and you think everybody else would like them as well, it's like, would you invite them to your house? That's when you invite that person to the group. And so it all grows based on trust.
So you're telling Joe Blow, who knows nobody in the Magic the Gathering community, to create his own Facebook group right?
No, actually, the recommendation would be if you're Joe Blow and you know nobody, step one is get to know people. Step one is actually to go out, socialize a bit, go to events, get to know people on like gaming, like through the if you internet's the only option, like do it through the internet, but maybe travel to a couple events. You know, just try to get to know people. You build the friendship and the socialization first. And then once they're in groups, then they'll be willing to invite you in, and then there'll already be like some connections there. So it starts with socialization as a primary thing.
Which is hard for a lot of Magic the Gathering players.
It is. So this isn't an option that is for the entire world, because some people are geographically isolated, right? You know, they live in the middle of Kansas or something.
Or can't travel to events.
Or can't travel to events. And some people are just not very social, so it's hard for them to get to know people. And so for those kinds of people, you still actually have things like eBay. You still have TCG Player. You still have Amazon. You're not completely shut out. But this is an alternate option. And I do see people doing this kind of thing more and more often. Like I'm literally, like, no joke, I'm literally in like 50 different Facebook Magic related groups, private groups.
God.
Well, people keep giving me invites, and like sometimes like I stay off until I see like if there's just garbage. But then, you know, over the years, just being on Facebook, you just start accepting these invites, and then
I'm only in like 2.
That's what's so hard about me actually keeping up with like the messages and stuff on Facebook. Like I'll log in, and the amount of messages I'll see from people talking on those groups is massive.
I'm in 2, and I get no messages. I do get invites, but I just don't join.
I'm confident Tavis is in the same boat, that he's in like 50 or more like Magic related Facebook groups.
I wouldn't have time for that many Facebook groups.
That is the problem. You know, time is a whole different thing. So then if I was just wanting to like narrow it down, that would be the thing to do, is narrow it down to the groups that I think are the most trustworthy, the most active, and filled with people that are the highest quality, would basically be the way to go about it. But I wanted to put this out there, that this does exist.
No, I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I mean, people contact me on open boosters, openbooster@gmail.com for like, if they see me open something to see if I'll sell it to them.
Yeah.
You know, and that's how I do a little bit of a private sale kind of thing.
Yeah.
To get around it, private sales are the best.
Yep.
But yeah, I haven't done it through I've been wanting to do through Facebook, one Facebook group, but I don't have because some of them are from Europe, and that would recall like, you know, customs and that kind of stuff, and I'm like, I'm out.
Well, like we actually, people might not know, we actually have an Unhinged Magi private Facebook group with around 300 people in it.
Are we planning to?
Maybe. So we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Oh.
But like that group, for example, I wouldn't necessarily trust that group to do like a bunch of sales and stuff like that. And that doesn't mean there's not good people in the group. But the thing is, like many of them
coming in there with T-shirts and stuff like that, or
yeah,
something.
like that group. Like I don't know the people in that group like on a first name basis, like all of them. I know a lot of them on a first name basis, and I've interacted with them in person and stuff. But there's a lot of people in there that were just fans of the channel, and so we just brought them in. So to kind of help you level set the trust level, like I wouldn't have that level of trust in that group just because we haven't met those people in person. Usually the Facebook groups where you'll do like more transacting, either you know a decent amount of people like in the group, and then you know that they know each other as well. There's a strong level of socialization that goes on, and that's kind of what the basis of all this goes from.
Well, that's good.
So anyways, you mentioned TCG Player earlier.
Yes, I did.
So maybe a quick spiel about what's good about TCG Player and how we are involved in that.
With the TCG Player, we actually part of the affiliate program. So if you actually shop using the link below, we get 3% towards Unhinged Magi from your transaction. It doesn't even increase your transaction rate at all. So there's no increase in price on your end, which is fantastic. I've never seen anything like that. As far as selling as an affiliate, usually they increase the price by that margin. So that's actually fantastic. But I transitioned over to TCG Player for a lot of my sales is because it's just easier to do. I can list quicker. I don't have to take pictures or images. I just spy what I'm looking for, put it up, and then I don't get asked a bunch of questions about, hey, could you send me pictures back in front of the card? Because most of the time it's irrelevant.
Yeah.
You know, a near mint card, by my definition, is going to be a near mint card by your definition. I mean, that's just a given.
You people might not even really be aware that TCG Player it's more made up of individuals than it is made up of like major businesses.
Well, I also like the fact that it has buy list. So I will go and I'll scroll through a buy list, and I will see that one particular card, like I don't know, the Angel of Hope or whatever, is out there selling like it maybe $2 to $3 less. You would get through $2 to $3 less, but that would cover my shipping cost. So I just pick that and put it in the buy list, and I'll go through a bunch of cards, and I'll literally make more money going through the buy list than I will from going through actual selling the cards. So I just ship the buy list that way. So I'll either A, list it, or B, buy list it. And so it's fantastic because I'll buy list a whole bunch of stuff and it'll be worth more than what I would if I actually sold it online.
So that's effectively a way that you've discovered to run arbitrage. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
It's like balancing out the buyers versus sellers in the market, helping those two meet each other in the middle. Because you look there and you see these guys are buying, and like, you know, I have this, and so that's just an easy way to just move it off.
Right. And I see it's already listed at that price that they're buy listing at, which is just hilarious.
Yeah.
And TCG Player will just send me the money. It's fine. I ship it in. They send me the money. It's good. Yep. I love it. I love that buy list feature.
So two things to note there. Number one is that Dan actually is a seller on TCG Player.
Yes. Oh, and here's one more thing that's fantastic. Okay, so let's say I have a $1,000 item, right? They will only charge me a max of $50. So that's way better than eBay right there, because I think their max in fees, $50. That's it.
So if you sell like $1 million item on eBay, they take a pretty big fee.
Right, and so if you sell it on TCG Player, it's still $50. So that's fantastic, and not including the PayPal fee, of course, because that's a
separate service. That's a payment service fee.
Right. So it's hilarious. That's huge though. So for big ticket items, there is no reason that you should sell it on eBay at all.
Yeah, so this probably actually plays into why like Channel Fireball and other businesses are starting to move away from selling singles, is because the competition they face on TCG Player is actually really, really big. So yeah, the two big things to note is number one, that Dan is a seller on TCG Player. The other thing to note is that we have that affiliate link below. And like he said, when you go into TCG Player as a buyer, you could be buying from many different stores, you know, that are individual people or businesses, whatever, right? But if you use that link below, it doesn't cost you any more money whatsoever, but we actually get a small cut of the profits because it's basically like advertising for TCG
Exactly,
Player.
And you're supporting us, and that's fantastic.
Yep, so that is a solid way to support the channel beyond subscribing to it, because many of you, I know we've got a lot of watchers of this channel that haven't subscribed yet. We put out a video and get like 4,000 views, and we have like 4,000 subs. It's like, come on, you guys, hit the subscribe button already. Anyways, that's the update. So eBay is definitely something that I would like to see get outmoded. It's on its way out, I think.
I don't think it's on its way out. I don't think eBay is on its way out because they actually created a cheap version to sell cheap cards. That 91 cents and 71 cents and 51 cents if it's less than like 2 ounces and stuff.
Well, the expense is one side, but then like not protecting sellers is another.
They don't care about the sellers, but that's beside the point. They have that new cheap way to ship one card or 15 cards, I think it is. Mm-hmm. But it cuts your costs on shipping dramatically. So
that's good.
Anything that's less than $20. So eBay is literally going to garbage town, and it will continue to sell garbage. That's their motto. I mean, I think they should say
the high-end cards don't make as much sense there. You take a huge risk.
No, the high-end cards is stupid to sell there. You need to sell that on. It's not about the risk factor because you're going to get the same risk factor on TCG Player. But
there is a risk on eBay. I mean, there's scam buyers all the time.
Yeah,
they buy it and then they get it and they say, "Oh, I never got it," and then eBay just gives them the money.
Well, true, but they have some protection for the buyers, and so does TCG Player, and they do have protection for the sellers, and it's a hit and miss there. But the fun part is that you get less fees on TCG Player. Mm-hmm. So I just think that's the best. But I still think eBay is heading towards, I want to only sell garbage.
Yep, there you go. When you think eBay, think garbage. And that's a good place to close the video on. Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.